Hi everyone, this is Ina and welcome to Ina After Dark. This is a space that I created where I come and wind down for the day to just tell you a story or inspire you or motivate you. And this is also a content creation piece for me. And you guys will notice if you're watching the video version of this episode is that I am not wearing any makeup right now. Now, this is not one of those vanity things or vulnerability things that I'm coming and telling you, look how vulnerable I am because I didn't, wear a bra for this episode, right? It's not one of those things. It is about content creation, and that's what I want to teach you about today. So this is a question that I got from one of my clients this week of, I can't just be a slave to social media. I don't think I have enough to say to create content every single day, right? So I went through with her, well, this is what I do and how it works for me. And I'm going to tell you guys, in my calendar, I don't really block out like pieces of time throughout the day to post content. So I wanted to tell you where my time for content comes from and how I'm able to multiply that the rest of the time. And you won't be surprised about what step number 5 is, because I'm going to tell you this in steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, step 5. Step 5 will not surprise you. Okay, so I'm going to start with telling you a little bit of what I've encountered is the hardest part of creating content, because I feel like a lot of you are going to find this too. And that is that we feel like we have to come up with something that is completely original, something that people are going to really like, something that people are going to share, something that is going to attract my exact audience member. I have to write articles, I have to write blog posts, I have to be on YouTube, I have to be on social media, I have to be on Facebook and Facebook page and boost the post, and I also have to be on Instagram and have a beautiful online presence there, and I have to be in all these things and all these places. You guys, that's a full-time job. That's why people hire social media managers to do that for them. Now, I don't have a social media manager. I may in the future, and I reserve the right to get one in the future. Okay, but right now I don't, and I put out content, a lot of content consistently. So I wanted to tell you what my secret is, because I really don't spend every day, all day creating content. In fact, I have a lot of things to do that have nothing to do with creating content, and I need the time for that. So I thought an easy way to do this was just to kind of break it down into 5 steps. So why don't we start with step number 1, which I am sure you have heard before, but I'm going to tell you super practically how I do it. Step 1 is to create one great piece of content per week and then repurpose that content. I'm going to tell you exactly how I do that. So every Monday really is the only day that I can tell you that I actually spend creating content. Now, Monday, I don't have a full work day to work with. Okay, Mondays, I have my son. I have my 2-year-old James, and he takes, thank goodness, he takes 2 to 3 hour naps every day. So that's the time that I have to play with on Mondays. So I have decided that what works for me is that when I have my son, I can only do one thing that day. I can only have one goal, one milestone, one thing to do. So on Mondays, that one thing is my podcast. So what do? I come on, I turn on the microphone, I put makeup on because I do want to look good, because all that stuff is going to get put everywhere, right? So I look nice. And as I'm getting ready, I start to think of what topic people want to hear about. I don't have a bank of episodes. I don't have a list of content that I want to talk about for the next 6 weeks. Okay. I decide that pretty much on that day as I'm getting ready, about to go live. So how do I decide this? I come up with my content based on what has happened recently, conversations that I have had with clients, things that I have seen online, things that are happening in the world, things that I know that I can take and turn into a lesson somehow. So if I have at least 3 things to say about a particular topic, I will break it down for you that way. That's exactly how I came up with the topic for today. I found myself in my office and I'm like, okay, I'm going to go live and I'm going to talk about something that I get asked about a lot, which is, how do I find the time to create so much content? Because there's really so much that I'm creating. And I'm like, you guys, it's not like that. So I'm like, that's a great topic. Can I say 5 things about it? Okay. I started with 3. If you're going to do this, if you're going to do like a list or a breakdown, make sure that you do 3, 5, 7, or 10. Like, people who are smarter than me have figured out that those are magic numbers when it comes to lists. Okay. So I could have said, I'm going to tell you 10 things. I could have said, I started with 3. I'm like, I can say 3 things about it. I'm like, I feel like I can say a lot more about it. So I stuck with 5. I wrote down 5 bullet points in my notepad, and then I started writing, what do I want to say about this topic? And I wrote them 1, 2, 3, 4. And I got to the last one. I'm like, this is an important one. I'm going to write it. Boom. Wrote it. I am not here thinking that this is going to be the piece of resistance, right? I'm not here thinking that this is going to be the ultimate guide to creating content magically. It's not. The idea is that I know that the goal for this is for you to walk away with something that you maybe haven't thought about before, or for you to see an example of someone who's doing a lot of this and you can learn something from it. Okay. I am not thinking that this is going to turn into the topic for my next ebook, right? I am not writing a dissertation about this topic. So really what those 5 items are is really, as long as they are true and they're going to help you, if you had forced me to write 10 things to say, I probably would have. So perfectionism has no place in content creation, because it's about being helpful, being helpful, being helpful. It's not about being perfect, perfect, perfect. So that's how I sat down and wrote this line. So on Mondays, I do the same thing I just did today. Sit down, write out what I want to say in my podcast, and I sit down and I record it. Okay, I grab my microphone, and at the same time that I record it, and right now you're watching me do this, if you're watching the video version, you can see me speaking into the microphone. Now, if you're watching me live, you may be wondering, why is the sound not great? It's because the microphone is not connected to my phone, and I'm going live on my phone. You see what I mean? I'm going live on my phone, and my microphone is connected to my computer. Okay, so I'm recording the sound on the computer and I'm going live on my phone. So the sound for the podcast is getting fed into the computer, and that's what I'm going to edit later on. Now, I'm going to take this video, because I'm actually recording this as a video on my computer, not just the audio, as a video. And I have 2 cameras that I'm looking at right now. I'm looking at my phone camera and I'm looking at my computer camera right here. So I record this and then I take it and put it on YouTube. I do get help there. I did get someone to help me out with posting these things on YouTube because I want to create a good description for it. I want it to have a good title. I want the captions to make sense. So I have somebody else do it. So I do outsource that piece. But I could just as easily just create a short description very fast, upload it, and forget about it. Okay? So it's no excuse for you that you don't have someone helping you with YouTube. Uploading a YouTube video is a matter of taking 2 seconds to upload it, and you just leave it alone and it's uploaded. Okay? So you don't need somebody else. I've just decided to invest a little bit in my YouTube presence. Okay? But you don't need that. So I take the video and I post it on YouTube. The video, I'm recording it on my Facebook group. So now my Facebook group people are going to see new content every week, sometimes multiple times a week. I also take this video and I post it on my blog. This is very important because when I share my videos, when I share the episodes that I do, I take people to my blog. And there's a reason for that. And the reason for that is that I have the Facebook Pixel installed on my website. So I care about capturing those leads, capturing those people who get to my blog, who go to my website, so that if I run ads at some point, they'll be able to see them and get more content from me that way. So getting them to my blog is important. So right there, all I did was sit down here, record this for an hour, record my podcast for an hour, take the video, put it on YouTube, take the video, do a few things to edit it, add an intro, add the outro, add some music to it, and that becomes my podcast. And then I take the same video and post it on my blog. So that right there is giving me content for Facebook, for my podcast, for YouTube, and for my blog. 4 different places where you can see the same content. Now, I haven't been doing this consistently because I'm only human, but I can also just post on my Instagram a post or a story saying, hey, new episode is out, go check it out. So now that content is on Instagram. So that's step 1. We're still on step 1, which is create one great piece of content, one beefy piece of content that your audience really wants from you, and repurpose it in multiple places, okay? If you do that once a week, you'll be golden. Everything else I'm about to tell you, it's the gravy, all right? It's the icing on the cake if you get this one done right, okay? So let's go to step number 2, which speaks to where do I find the time to continue to post the rest of the week? Because the rest of my weeks are busy, guys. I have client work. I have websites to make. I have things to do. Thursdays are packed with meetings until the wee hours in the evening, right? So where do I find the time? Well, this is my secret, and you might find a different way of doing this. But the truth is that I'm sure I'm not alone in this. Now that I'm about to say it, I'm like, I'm sure I'm not alone. I use social media as a procrastination tool. I should be doing something else, but I open up Facebook, right? So we all do this. If you're on social media, you're procrastinating from doing something more important. So because I do that, every time that I open up Facebook is an opportunity for me to post something. Okay, which takes me to step number 3. So step number 2 was about where do you find the time? You're on social media anyway. Okay, if you're watching this, you are on social media right now, and you could be doing more important things with your time. Okay, so when you're on social media, you open up that Facebook write post, which takes us to step number 3, which is what do you write about? Right now, it's not about finding the time, because I know you're on social media, I know the time is there. Now it's about what do you write about? I'm going to tell you what I do. I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but it works for me. I just start typing. It doesn't matter what it is. In fact, I start typing without having an ending. I start typing things like, the other day I was talking to someone. Now, I have no idea what the next part of the sentence is because I'm not thinking of a particular conversation that I had. I'm not thinking about the last time that I talked to someone. I just start writing. If the post started this way, how would I finish it? The other day I was talking to someone and she was asking me about, and then as that sentence gets fleshed out in my mind, I start to think about real conversations I had and maybe things I have said about conversations I have had. So then I'm like, and she said that she was having trouble with, and I just keep going until I finish a sentence. And by the end of the sentence, I have a thought. I have a real thought that is not a meandering, long run sentence. I actually have a thought about this. I'm like, oh, wait, I remember that person asked me this and I felt this about it. Okay, how can I turn that into a lesson? Well, I can teach people that so-and-so, blah, 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 this. So I just delete everything I just typed and I start from the beginning saying, the last time that I talked to someone about this. And guess what? More times than not, once I come up with a thought and I have full intention of it just being a 1-paragraph post, of just being 3 lines, those are the times that I sit down and write for 7 minutes. And that's how I end up with those longish posts, because I started writing something and I came up with an idea. I erased the whole thing and now I fleshed it out. And now I had more to say. Now I feel passionate about this. Now I feel like I have a stance and then I'm angrily typing whatever it is that I came up with. And now I have a post. So what do I do with it? Normally I want to add an image to it. So I go to one of the free royalty image places, pexels.com, unsplash.com, istock.com, which is not free, but I have a subscription. I go and I get a picture, I paste it in there. If I have a little bit more time, if I'm not doing this on my phone, if I'm on my computer, I'll open up Canva, come up with a pretty template, maybe use a picture of myself from one of my photo shoots, and boom, and post it. So that's how I come up with content on the fly. It's not like I have divine inspiration every single day at every minute of every hour of every day. I force myself to write and then things happen. So if you have a time between meetings, right? Going back to point number 2, where to find the time. If you find the time between meetings, if you find yourself just opening social media because you're procrastinating from doing something else, that's when you just force yourself to write for a couple minutes. All it takes is 5 minutes to come up with an idea, and then you're in the zone. And you just type your post and you get out. So that's points number 1, 2, and 3. Let's move on to point number 4. This one is nifty, and it gives me a lot of flexibility with my content. And that is that I need to have, or you need to have, multiple forms of your content, multiple ways to deliver content. So it could be anywhere from one-liners to full articles, right? It's not all about the long form. It's not all about sitting down and writing a full article. It's not all about recording a video, right? It's not all about that. I have a content type, which is a one-liner. I have it with a red background, which is my branding color. It goes on my Instagram stories and on my Instagram posts. My Instagram posts get automatically posted to my Facebook page, which is part of point number 1 of repurposing, right? So I have that red with white words, one-liner. So even if I don't feel like writing something long, if I just want to give a message, just like get up in my soapbox and say, think big. I take that template, I say, think big, I post it on the story, I post it on Instagram post, it gets populated to my Facebook page, and boom, content is done. I can just put it out of my mind until next time. Last night, I was procrastinating from doing something else. I was supposed to be working on something that was unsurmountable and I was too tired to do it. So I opened up Facebook to start a post and I realized, I think I want to write an article about this. And I opened up LinkedIn and I started writing a full-fledged article about it. So that's how these things happen. You find a little bit of time and it starts for the first couple minutes, it's forcing yourself to do it. And then all of a sudden you're in the zone and you can't stop yourself from doing it. And I have published 2 articles on LinkedIn last night. That's how it happened. So you need to have those multiple forms because it's really important. More than the actual content that you're delivering, is really important, especially in the online world, to be present a lot, for people to hear your message over and over and over again. Because in order for someone to become a client, they need to hear from you multiple times. They need to hear your offer 47 times, or whatever that famous number is of how many times somebody needs to hear something before they buy it, right? They need to see you, because if you're out of sight, you're out of mind. And somebody else who's more present is going to take that audience member. It's going to take their attention. It's going to teach them something that you just didn't. So for me, it's really important to be present a lot. So if I have time, this is what I'm doing. But I don't block out my time. I use only and exclusively my procrastination time between meetings, time after meetings. I just got out of a meeting from my Be Found program with my clients, and I'm here in my office. There's nothing expected from me downstairs. I already had dinner. All I have to do is just go to bed. I'm like, I have some time. I think I could record a podcast episode now. March is going to be a particularly busy month for me, so I'm trying to actually create a bank for the first time ever. Create a small bank of episodes that I can distribute in March so that I can focus on other things on those Mondays, right? This is the first time ever I'm doing that, and I'm doing it using time that otherwise wouldn't be there. I could have just gone to bed. So I hope that has been helpful so far, because that takes us to the final point, which is point number 5. Oh my God. You guys, point number 5, show up without makeup. Now, this is not a recommendation. I hope that you know your audience enough to know whether you need to show up professionally, right? Makeup on, hair done, right outfit in the bright daylight, not at night, not like I'm recording this, like it's in a little corner with, my face all washed out. The reason I say show up without makeup is because I want to basically eliminate the pressure that we put on ourselves to show up in a perfect way. Again, this is not a vulnerability post. This is not vulnerability warning. This is the time that I had to do this. It's more important to me to be present for everyone than for it to look completely polished and perfect, because the way that I relate to my audience is by teaching them how to find all these moments. So if I can't show you me showing up in these moments like these, then how do you know that it's okay? If you've been listening to this and you find this helpful, I hope that you have already forgotten about the fact that I'm not wearing makeup. Especially if you've listened this far, you clearly don't really care that much if I'm not or not. But my point with this is sometimes you just show up the way you are so that you can take advantage of that little time that you're going to have to actually put out content. Like right now, I totally could have opted for just going to bed. I could have also put makeup on. You guys, no, I'm about to go to bed. I'm not going to put my face on to have to take it off 15 minutes later. It's not going to happen. So to me, it was important to come and teach you something with the time that I have. Makeup or no makeup. Again, know your audience. This is not a blanket piece of advice. The advice really is show up the way you are whenever you can. And that's it. Don't put blocks in front of you. Don't put huge walls in front of you. Like the content has to be written out and perfect, or I have to be reading from a script, or these 5 steps better be the only 5 steps there are to create content. Don't put so many blocks in front of you, okay? Especially because you are your boss. Don't do that to yourself. Make things as easy as possible so you can produce as much as possible. So again, the question was, what is my secret to produce so much abundant content in a week? Is completely eliminating that pressure for it to be perfect. And the only requirement is it has to be helpful. So if you found this helpful, I really hope that you would take a screenshot of this episode, say yeah, and post it on Instagram stories. Tag me at Ina Coveney, spell Coveney right, it ends in EY. And before I go, I wanted to let you guys know that on Wednesday, February 5th, there's something huge happening, okay? And I just want to tell you that if you are there with me live, and by the way, it's not physically there live, it's online live, on February 5th, 2020, on a Wednesday at 9:30 in the morning on my Facebook page, and you can get to my Facebook page by going to facebook.com/trailblazing out of corporate life. If you go there, 9:30 on Wednesday, I have a big announcement that is super exciting, but I also wanted you guys to get something really, really beefy out of it. So I am going to do a full-on salary replacement training. So if that's something that appeals to you, something that sounds interesting, you'll want to be there live, because at the end, I'm going to do a major giveaway. Here's what I'm giving away. It's going to be drawing one name. I have a famous random winner generator spreadsheet that I need your help in filling it out so that I can come up with a winner on that day. And so you show up live, you're there, you stay through the end, and you're entered into this raffle. What you get is a tripod, like the same tripod that I have for my phones. It's telescopic, and it also comes with a remote. I haven't been saying this online, but it also comes with a remote, a Bluetooth remote, so you can take pictures from far away. And also, you get a personal session with me where we review your goals and we get you set up for the next 3 months, whatever your plan is going to be, so that you can accomplish your goals this year. We're going to talk about what you should be doing in those first 3 months, get you super clear on what your business is going to be, how you're going to tackle it, what are the important things to do online to start building that audience. We're going to get you all set up. I have great testimonials that are here in this group, or that are in the Facebook group, from people who have taken this before. This workshop is called the 2020 Vision Workshop. It is very individualized. You fill out a survey before you even go to the workshop, so that I'm familiar with your situation. So when we dive in, we dive deep, and we really peel the onion on what you're really meant to be doing, and we get you on your way. So you will get that one session for completely free if you join live. Now, if you can't make it live because you are working at 9:30 in the morning on a Wednesday, there is an opportunity to sign up for the raffle before the raffle actually happens. So for more of those instructions, I want you to go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/trailblazing out of corporate life. Go there, and there's instructions on the pinned post on how to participate in the raffle if you can't attend live. And the actions for that you need to take by Tuesday night. Otherwise, the raffle is going to go on without you, okay? It's not valid for after the raffle happens. So I really hope that you will join me. I have been teasing this a little bit. It is related to my partnership with Staples. I am very excited. I can't wait to show this to you, and it's going to be incredible. I really, really want to share this with you. And it also comes at the 2-year anniversary of me starting this iteration of my business. So it's all coming together. It's 2 years almost to the date, and this amazing thing is happening. I want to share it with you guys. So I hope to see you there Wednesday, February 5th, 2020. And if you're listening to this after the fact, go to the Facebook page around that time, because you're going to see exactly what happened. You can watch the replay of the live. All right. So, okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to say. I can't wait. This is happening super, super soon, and I can't wait to share this with you. Okay, I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great night. Bye, everybody. Yay, thank you for watching. If you like that video, remember to subscribe right here to get notified of new episodes, and don't miss the podcast version, Trailblazing Out of Corporate Life. Go look it up and subscribe. I'll see you later. Bye.